Aboriginal skies. Australia and the oldest sky stories on Earth. If you're here to fall asleep, you're in the right place. We're standing in the Australian outback. 65,000 years ago, and today. Looking at stars with the oldest continuous culture on Earth. The Aboriginal Australians, who have told the same sky stories for longer than any other people. The Aboriginal Australians looked at the sky and saw songlines, dreaming stories, navigation paths that connected sky and Earth. The oldest astronomy on the planet. Lower your volume. Close your eyes. Let the ancient stars carry you to sleep. Let's begin with your breath. Let's begin. Part 1, The Aboriginal Sky. Australia, 65,000 years of continuous observation. You are standing in the outback. Central Australia. The Red Desert. The year is, it doesn't matter. Could be 65,000 years ago. Could be today. The sky doesn't change. The stories don't change. Time here isn't linear but cyclical, eternal, dreamtime. Above you, the southern sky. No northern hemisphere constellations. No Big Dipper, no North Star. Instead, the Southern Cross. The Magellanic Clouds. The Coal Sack, a dark nebula blocking starlight. And the Milky Way stretching overhead, so bright it illuminates the ground, so clear you can see dark patches within it. This is what Aboriginal Australians have seen for 65,000 years. The oldest continuous cultural tradition on Earth. The only culture that has maintained unbroken knowledge transmission from the Paleolithic to the present. Their sky knowledge predates all other civilizations. The Aboriginal approach to stars is different from Mesopotamian, Egyptian, Maya. Not mathematical. Not based on prediction and calculation. Instead, based on story, connection, relationship. Stars are ancestors, dreamtime. Beings, markers of seasons and ceremonies and navigation. The sky is not separate from Earth, it's part of the same living landscape. Aboriginal astronomy includes both dark constellations and light constellations. Most cultures only see patterns in bright stars. Aboriginal Australians also see patterns in darkness, in the dust lanes of the Milky Way that block starlight. The emu in the sky is a dark constellation, its body made of dark nebulae, visible against the bright Milky Way. When the emu is in the right position in the evening sky, it's the season. When emus on Earth are laying eggs, sky and Earth mirror each other. The appearance of sky emu tells people on Earth it's time to hunt for emu eggs. This is practical astronomy, using sky to predict Earth events. Different Aboriginal groups have different stories for the same stars, but all groups use stars for practical purposes: timekeeping, navigation, seasonal indicators. The Pleiades star cluster rising before dawn tells many groups it's time for certain ceremonies, certain harvests, the beginning of certain seasons. Aboriginal Australians navigated vast distances across the continent using stars. Songlines, navigation paths encoded in song and story, often include stellar references. To travel a songline, you sing it. The song contains the Route, the landmarks, including celestial landmarks. Stars guide you across country you've never seen. The sun and moon are also part of sky stories. Solar and lunar positions mark seasons. Lunar phases determine ceremony timing. Some groups have stories explaining eclipses, meteors, planets, comets, all integrated into Dreamtime. Narrative. What makes Aboriginal astronomy unique is its age and continuity. Egyptian astronomy lasted 3,000 years. Mesopotamian about 4,000. Maya 1,000. But Aboriginal astronomy has lasted 65,000 years, maybe longer. It predates agriculture, writing, cities, civilizations. It's the baseline, the oldest sustained human knowledge tradition. Imagine being an Aboriginal elder 60,000 years ago. You stand on this same red earth. Look at this same sky. You teach the young people the stories. See that dark shape in the Milky Way? That's the emu. When the emu stands up in evening, that's when to find emu eggs. You teach the songlines, the navigation, the ceremonies timed to stars. And imagine being an elder today. You stand on the same earth. See the same sky. Teach the same stories. Exactly the same stories. Passed down through 2,000 generations without writing, without change, through ice ages. And climate shifts and sea level rises that drowned coastlines. The stories survived because they work. They encode practical knowledge. When to hunt, when to gather, when to move, how to navigate. They survived because they're beautiful and memorable. They survived because Aboriginal culture values continuity, tradition, connection to ancestors. Let this ancient sky stay with you as you drift into sleep. The oldest human stories about stars. The emu in the sky. The songlines connecting earth and heaven. 65,000 years of continuous knowledge transmitted orally. Perfectly, eternally. Rest now under stars that Aboriginal Australians have watched longer than any other people. The same patterns, the same stories, the same ancestors in the sky now as always. What did Aboriginal Australians understand about the sky? What knowledge did they preserve for 65,000 years? First, they understood dark constellations. Most cultures see patterns in bright stars, connect the dots to make shapes. Aboriginal Australians were first, as far as we know, to see patterns in darkness. The emu in the sky is the most famous. Its head is the coal sack nebula. Its body is dark dust lanes in the Milky Way. When you know to look for dark shapes, you see it clearly. This is sophisticated observation. It requires dark skies, which they had, and awareness that darkness can be as meaningful as light. The emu's orientation changes through the year. When the emu stands up, is vertical in evening sky, that's when real emus on Earth are laying eggs. Perfect correlation. Other dark constellations exist in different Aboriginal groups, each tied to Earth phenomena, each used for practical purposes. Second, they understood stars mark seasons. Different groups use different stars for seasonal markers. Many use the Pleiades, 7 sisters. When the Pleiades rise before dawn, that marks the beginning of a specific season, different seasons in different regions because Australia is huge and climate varies. The Southern Cross position indicates seasons. Other stars rising or setting at certain times correlate with migrations of animals, flowering of plants, availability of foods. This knowledge is practical survival information encoded in memorable sky stories. Third, they understood stars connect to landscape. Aboriginal geography is not abstract maps. It's songlines, paths across country encoded in song, story, dance, art. Many songlines include stellar references. Stars are landmarks like hills or rivers. To navigate at night, you use stars. The songline tells you which stars to follow. Some songlines are hundreds of miles long, crossing multiple language groups. The same song might be sung in different languages as you travel, but the celestial references remain consistent. Stars are universal markers that transcend language barriers. Fourth, they understood planets are different from stars. Venus is recognized as morning star and evening star in many groups. Movements are noted. Stories exist explaining planetary wandering. Mars' reddish color is incorporated into stories. Jupiter's brightness makes it significant. While they didn't calculate planetary positions mathematically like Maya or Mesopotamians, they observed and incorporated planets into their cosmology. Fifth, they understood the sun and moon are predictable. Solar positions mark seasons. Solstices and equinoxes are noted, not with those words, but the phenomena are recognized. Some stone arrangements in Australia align with solstice sunrises, suggesting deliberate solar observation. Lunar phases are tracked. Some groups use lunar cycles for timekeeping. Ceremonies might be timed to full moon or new moon. Eclipses have stories explaining them, often involving conflict between sun and moon. Sixth, they understood meteors and comets are temporary phenomena. Stories explain shooting stars, often as ancestors' spirits or magical events. Comets when they appear are noted and discussed. Meteorites that fall to Earth are sometimes collected, used in ceremonies or as special objects. The understanding that these are different from fixed stars shows careful observation and categorization of celestial phenomena. Seventh, they understood stories preserve knowledge. This is perhaps their greatest achievement. They didn't write things down. No clay tablets. No papyrus. No books. Everything transmitted orally through stories, songs, dances, art. Yet the knowledge survived tens of thousands of years. How? Because stories are memorable. Because they're repeated in ceremonies. Because knowledge holders teach the next generation carefully. Because Aboriginal culture values preservation of tradition. Some star stories are restricted knowledge, only certain people are taught them. This ensures they're treated seriously, transmitted accurately. Other stories are shared widely, ensuring redundancy. If one person forgets, others remember. The Dreamtime concept helps. Dreamtime isn't the past, it's eternal now. Ancestors who became stars aren't dead, they're present in the sky. The Stories aren't history, they're ongoing reality. This makes them vital. Relevant, not just old tales. 8th, they understood the sky for 65,000 years. Think about this timeline. 65,000 years ago, Neanderthals still existed. Homo sapiens had just left Africa. No agriculture anywhere. No cities. No writing. No metal. Humans lived as hunter-gatherers across the world. Aboriginal Australians arrived in Australia, looked up, began developing sky knowledge, and never stopped. Through ice ages when sea levels dropped and Australia was connected to New Guinea. Through warming when seas rose and drowned the coastlines. Through climate shifts that changed the land. Through megafauna extinctions, through human population changes, through everything. The sky knowledge persisted. By comparison, Mesopotamian astronomy, 4,000 years. Egyptian, 3,000 years. Greek, 2,000 years. Maya, 1,000 years. Aboriginal Australian, 65,000 plus years. More than 10 times longer than any other astronomical tradition. And it survived orally. No writing for 64,800 of those years. Just stories. Songs, ceremonies, teaching. The oldest knowledge transmission system that still functions today. Let this knowledge stay with you as you drift into deepest sleep. 65. Millennia of sky watching. Stories older than agriculture. Knowledge that survived ice ages. The oldest human understanding of the cosmos still practiced. Still remembered, still taught. Rest now under stars that have been watched longer by Aboriginal Australians than by any other people. The emu in the sky. The Seven Sisters. The Southern Cross. All seen and storied for longer than writing has existed. The stars turn. The stories continue. The oldest knowledge endures. Sleep well knowing that human understanding of the stars goes back further than we can easily imagine. That before all civilizations, before all written records, humans looked up and learned and remembered. And in Australia, they never stopped remembering. And so our night in the outback ends. 25 minutes under the southern sky. Learning star stories from the oldest continuous culture on Earth. We stood under stars Aboriginal Australians have watched for 65,000 years. The emu in the sky. Dark constellations. The Pleiades rising. The Southern Cross. All seen and storied longer than any other human astronomy. We learned that Aboriginal astronomy isn't about mathematics or prediction. It's about story, connection, relationship. Stars connected to Earth. Sky connected to land. Ancestors visible above. Knowledge transmitted through song and story for 2,000 generations without writing, perfectly preserved. Tonight, as you drift into sleep, you rest under stars that are part of the longest continuous knowledge tradition humanity has created. Stories that survived ice ages. Knowledge that predates agriculture and cities and civilization itself. You are small. The cosmos is vast and ancient. But 65,000 years ago, humans began watching the cosmos and telling stories about it. In Australia, those stories never stopped. They continue today, the same stories. The same knowledge, the same connection. Sleep now under the oldest human sky stories. Under stars Aboriginal Australians have named and storied longer than any other people. Under the emu that still indicates when to find eggs. Under the 7 sisters that still mark the seasons. Good night from the Australian outback. From 65,000 years of continuous sky watching. From the dreamtime that is always now. From the oldest astronomy on Earth. The emu stands in the sky. The songlines cross the land. The stories continue. All exactly as they have for thousands of generations. Rest well, ancient stargazer. The oldest knowledge endures. The sky remembers. You connect to the longest human tradition of watching the heavens. All is story. All is continuous. All is exactly as it has always been. Good night.